What are you?
I'm a hedgehog. I feel like that's obvious.
Yeah, I spent a long time playing the game, so I was very familiar with Sonic.
One of the things that I loved about the game was that when you play it, there's this aspect of it being like out of control almost at points. The idea of also going incredibly fast with a character in a video game is so exciting. Have you ever felt so alive?
I'm a huge believer in people falling in love with characters that are these cultural icons for a reason.
I think I had played it once or twice, and after I got the call, I started playing it with my grandson, who humiliated me constantly.
Look what came out of my egg sack.
I was 13 years old. Sonic the Hedgehog comes along. I, of course, have very fond memories of my time with Sonic.
I remember this little blue hedgehog running really fast, but Sonic was like the guy.
So it's cool to see it finally make its way to the big screen.
I am living my best life on Earth. I've got a library, a home gym, and a state-of-the-art security system.
We want to honor sort of the spirit and a lot of the key components of what fans of the game would want to see in the film. When you think of Sonic, you definitely think of rings, and you think of speed.
Gotta go fast!
We really enjoyed trying to depict his speed in a lot of different ways. Of course, we've got some really great slow-mo kind of bullet time moments, which kind of are sort of personifying Sonic's character. Just the iconography of Sonic, the blue hedgehog.
And the red shoes, yeah.
One of the most important moments in this movie is the moment where Sonic gets his iconic red shoes.
We wanted to make sure we gave that something that just really felt powerful and emotional.
So you won't hurt your feet anymore.
Really?
She basically goes and gets these sneakers for him that everybody knows about, like the sneakers.
Oh, all right, looking good.
Our movie is packed to the brim with little Easter eggs for fans. We have Sonic tapping his foot and looking at his watch.
He's referred to as the Blue Blur, which is one of Sonic's nicknames.
I mean, the town is Green Hills. Green Hill Zone was the very first zone in the very first game. I think there's a Marble Street is where the possum lives, which is the Marble Zone.
In a sequentially ranked hierarchy based on level of critical importance, the disparity between us is too vast to quantify. Agent Stone?
The doctor thinks you're basic.
Robotnik was a really exciting challenge because in the game, he's very maniacal, very mustache twirling. So we really wanted to honor the spirit of that.
The time for talking has ended.
It's time to push buttons.
Jim Carrey was so involved in every aspect of the character, and it just really took it to a whole nother level.
Whatever this creature is, it's our job to secure it, neutralize it, uncover the source of its power.
I see him as somebody who wants to be the warden of a mechanized prison that captures the consciousness of the world, and Sonic is a power that he needs.
The idea that I can bring life to those things that inspired me as a kid is one of the most exciting things in the universe. Where am I? What year is it? Is The Rock president?
Sonic is all of us. Human beings are complex, and I think Sonic kind of sums all of us up.
It's a classic line.
People spend a lot of hours of their life playing these games, and it makes this connection that, like when you see a loved one or a good friend, and I think a lot of people feel that way about Sonic.
And please, 5 stars.
Being able to do a movie that brings a good memory back to people, it's a real blast.
I just thought you might like a latte with steamed Austrian goat milk. What do I look like, an imbecile? Of course I want a latte. I love the way you make them!
It's not just nostalgia. I mean, he kind of came onto the scene in 1991, but he never really went anywhere. There's just been so much of Sonic out in the world to sort of enjoy. But I feel very lucky and very fortunate to have been the one to sort of bring him to the big screen.
Yes! I did it! Did you see that? I did it!
20 minutes ago, an energy surge knocked out power across the entire Pacific Northwest.
This could be a prelude to a larger attack. I'm suggesting we scramble the 5th and 6th Regiment.
No. This needs a much more sophisticated mind.
You're not suggesting who I think you're suggesting.
We have no choice.
I knew when I got the call to do this movie that Sonic was a game.
Listen, Mr. Dr. Robotnik, but my dentist calls me Rob.
He's a wonderful character to play. He's a madman with a triple-digit IQ. So it took me a week and a half to prepare.
I'm going to give you 5 seconds to tell me where it is.
Wait! Don't hurt him!
I just dealt with him as an ego out of control, as somebody who believes themselves completely separate from the rest of the world, and so he must conquer those who betrayed him. He hates the world because the world abandoned him.
You just sit there and be you.
pulseless.
Jim Carrey is a legend. The idea that I was going to get to work with him after idolizing him for so many years was incredible.
I know you're supposed to say in these things that working with this person is like a dream and that's your hero.
And maybe someday you'll achieve your goal.
He really is one of the actors that I looked up to the most.
Working with Jim Carrey was pretty sweet. I was quoting him every day. Somebody stop me!
Is that all you got?
No, but thank you for asking.
Until Jim Carrey made Somebody Stop Me.
Once Jim Carrey came on, it was just such a fantastic experience, kind of having conversations with him about what he should sound like, how he should move, what he should look like.
The costume was incredible, the look was incredible, the mustache was ridiculous.
I need time off to get drunk and put the boat in the water. I lost the mustache.
You get in the gizmos and the gadgets and stuff and fly around in that ship. I really liked it.
Are you in charge here?
Yes, I am. Wrong. I'm in charge.
It's fun to see him have fun. It's fun to see him dive into something and just let loose.
I'm just having so much fun, honest to God. It's a great, fun part to do.
Enjoying a clam chowder. Okay, that was weird.
Sometimes you gotta stop and smell the smell the portal.
20 minutes ago, I tracked a Sour Patch Kid.
I didn't even know what that means.
I grew up on Jim Carrey. Everybody knows Jim Carrey.
Does she have a name, or shall we just call her Collateral Damage?
The fact that he would collaborate with us, it was probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my career.
Well, we do improv. I'm a big proponent of working it and working it and working it and coming in with 20 ideas and the director will go just throw them out, see what happens.
It is a joy to be on the receiving end of all of Jim's antics.
Who the hell do you think you are?
I let madness reign.
To be looking at him in the eye when he's shouting at you.
Hey, that was good.
They were a great bunch, wonderful, creative group of people. The more fun you generate on that set, the more fun comes through the camera. To me, a movie like this is silly fun.
Call Optical Illusions. Tell them I need new frames. They know what kind I like.
I can't believe that Jim Carrey is here performing this character for our movie.
It's vintage Jim Carrey, and it's such a joy to watch.
Okay, I'm satisfied.
He gave it his all. I think it's one of his best performances. I really think he embodies what fans of Robotnik would expect.
Now you've done it.
Guess what, Eggman? I'm not leaving Earth. You are.
He's the Eggman. I think it's pretty perfect for me.
I was there for the dawn and the birth of the video game console. And I know that at the time it was like a Sega versus Nintendo thing.
Oh, this is a Sonic the Hedgehog from Sega Genesis.
Sonic the Hedgehog comes along and obviously is definitely sort of a game changer and really made a huge splash in the industry.
I don't think even when I got involved, I understood the passion for this character.
I remember playing Sonic when I was a little kid.
I'm actually a lot like Robotnik when we play.
Yeah, I never had a Nintendo either. My dad bought a Genesis, the greatest day of my life.
Sonic is another one of those characters that come from the dawn of the video game age. You know, he's been around almost as long as gaming has.
The Sonic brand and the Sonic character just had a life of its own, and it started back in 91.
1990年代っていうのは、セガのメガドライブと、任天堂さんのスーパーファミコンとで、ハードウェアの、販売競争をしていまして、その時にセガとしては、任天堂さんのマリオに匹敵するような、コンシューマーのキャラクターが欲しいということで、ソニックの企画が誕生しました。その時に、当時メインプログラマーだった中さんがドットを使って滑らかな地形を描くという、研究をしてまして、それを使ってこうループが生まれたり滑らかに、走るキャラクターというのが、誕生して、それが、ソニックの原型となりました。
Sega Japan created a contest for all the employees around the world to submit their ideas for a character and game concept. And at first, it was potentially going to be a rabbit. And the rabbit had a bow tie and big droopy ears. They wanted a character that could roll and also use its body to defeat enemies without weapons.
そうですね。ハイスピードな、キャラクターを作るというところで、ゲームデザインは決まったわけですけども、キャラクターデザインっていうところでいうとスピーディーに走るキャラクターが そのままスピードを殺さずに敵を攻撃するためには一体どんな、攻撃がいいだろうと。
They chose the hedgehog and the rest is magic. There's so much that I personally love about Sonic. Part of it is the character design.
Just a big head full of quills and red cool tennis shoes for running as fast as he does.
赤い靴っていうのは、当時キャラクターデザインだった大島直人さんが当時ゲーム的に必要なカラーということで赤って決めたんですけども、その時にデザイン的に考えてる最中にサンタクロースとかそういうのをイメージしたと言ってました。
Sonic the Hedgehog, more action, more speed.
They launched it as a bundle with the Sega Genesis, and that sold millions of copies in just one summer. All of a sudden, Sonic burst on the scene in a huge way and became a pop culture icon.
I think it really just comes down to character. His personality, his attitude, that was something that was so kind of unique and refreshing back in 1991. It's just you had never seen a personality like that in video games.
He's got a little edge, he's kind of funny, he's kind of snarky, and everybody feels like he's a relatable character.
And I always felt like Sonic had a lot more personality than Mario. He's just a guy with a mustache. But Sonic had that smirk, that twinkle in his eye.
Yeah, and if you let the character sit there for too long, he would like look at his watch and tap his foot and get bored with you because he wanted to run.
It was such a small little detail, but it became such a fan favorite, and it's something that no one had ever done in games before. And seeing a character break the fourth wall and engage you, sort of the player, in that way.
At the time, especially with what was capable in video games, it was just crazy how quickly the screen would move around.
Ultimately, in order to be successful at Sonic, you had to recklessly go as fast as you can, and if you tried to slow down, boom, you hit a spike strip and rings flew everywhere.
I loved the idea that you can go so fast in different ways of attacking, but the idea that you can like fly across the screen. If you have enough speed, this aspect of the stage will be different than a different part of the screen if you're going slow.
そのレベルデザインも上手くなればなるほど早くクリアできるように、それとループとか、気持ちよさを表現するっていうことを念頭に、レベルデザインされたゲームっていうのが、当時すごく新鮮だったと思います。
I lost my rings!
Rings? What are you talking about?
Okay. Rings are how all advanced cultures travel between worlds.
でカオスエメラルドも当時あったボーナスゲームの、アイテムとして、カオスエメラルドが誕生したわけですけども、それ以降29年間今ソニック経ってますけども、毎回そのゴールドリングカオスエメラルドっていうのは、ソニックの中の重要なアイテムとして、どのゲームにでも登場するようにしてます。
Over the years, the Sonic brand has evolved from just being video games and expanded from there to TV shows. Now we have a movie.
Movie night is my favorite. Please. Yes!
Sonic has these certain aspirational characteristics. He can run super fast, he's a great friend, he's got a lot of snappy comebacks and edge, but he also always does the right thing.
And it's a testament to the character in the game, and I think it's going to go down in history as one of the greatest video games ever created.
There's a great nostalgia factor with Sonic. It's one of these characters that it has a past, a present, and a future.
Getting the opportunity, to grow up in this character, and then to be able to, tell a story as an adult that sort of plays into my childhood dreams has just been really special and really wonderful.
Ha-ha! Nailed it!
I like to think of it that all the time I spent playing video games, I can now legitimately say it was just research. That was all work related.
Yeah, Mom!
Hello, Hedgehog. Robotnik just gets bigger and bigger. I'm upgrading!
Sinister 3.0.
We're gonna get you to the next level.
Whoa! He has doubled and tripled down on all of the things that you love about Jim Carrey, all of the humor, all of the manicness.
He's taken it way farther than we could have ever thought. He not only delivers on a dramatic level, but on a physical level.
I'm Robotnik. I'm the controller. Toggle me. Let's light this candle.
We met him at the first movie and he was unhinged, manic, he was hilarious, but he had some grasp of reality. Where we meet him in this movie, he will have spent 6 months on an abandoned planet with only mushrooms, and if he was crazy in the first movie, he's absolutely insane in this one, which fits Jim Carrey's style of acting perfectly.
Destroy the hedgehog! Robotnik has been marooned on the mushroom planet. He's been out there in his own little world, trying to make coffee out of mushrooms, trying to make souffle out of mushrooms, and playing chess with himself. My only companion is a rock I named Stone. The question is, for whom am I narrating this?
From a production design standpoint, it was just a field day. We built over 1,000 styrofoam mushrooms. We created this entire planet, and then we just let Jim Carrey go to town on it, and it was a blast. It's just a lot of fun to see a character who has lost such a grasp on his reality as he returns back to Earth and has to face off with Sonic once again.
It's time to say goodbye to this piece of shiitake planet! He does return, and vengeance is definitely the order of the day. Come and get it! With the Emerald Power, he's able to transcend his already incredible and totally dysfunctional mind and almost become demigodinal. Yeah, demigod. Kaplooey.
Jim's in the classic Eggman character look. He has his head shaved, his mustache is bigger than his face.
Papa's got a brand new stash.
And no one was happier than Jim Carrey to get to do that look. It really brought so many ideas and really brought out his performance.
The mustache is a manifestation of Robotnik's ego. The bigger the ego, the bigger the chip, the bigger the resentment, the bigger the mustache. It's a status symbol. It is absolutely his power. It's not big enough as far as I'm concerned.
Not only is he going to be manic, have these great looks, but we've designed a ton of new drones for him. And the other fantastic thing we're so excited to be able to bring to the screen is his Eggmobile, his flying ship that's iconic from the game. In the first movie, he had a much more grounded spaceship called the Egg Pod. Now he'll be in that solo flight cabin, the Eggmobile, and it looks just like the game and is fantastically designed.
Later, haters! Take me with you!
Jim Carrey is one of a kind. He's a comedic genius. He's a dramatic genius. Watching him work is like watching the finest violinist work. He just knows how to do it, and he demands the best out of himself.
So much thought goes into how he talks, how he moves, and Jim wants to get it right. He's so aware of his physical performance. He's just always pushing to make it great. As a director, it's the greatest gift you could possibly receive.
Eureka! I found it! I throw the spaghetti against the wall, see if it sticks, see if it's al dente. I know the material, and then, of course, I want to try it a bunch of different ways. Give the director so much to work with, so many levels of emotion, so many levels of cartoon. I'll do them all night if they let me.
When he is done for the day, he is exhausted. He puts his whole body, his whole mind, his whole everything into these characters. I mean, he really, really has become Dr. Robotnik to the fullest extent.
Yeah, that's more where that came from. I really like the world this Sonic character inhabits. And it's innocent. It's got all the special effects and all the wow, but it's also got this very light thing going on that's just kind of sweet and homespun.
Wachowski!
The idea of families hanging out together and watching the movie and the adults having something that they can take away from it and enjoy my performance, that means a lot to me.
Now you speak my language.
I've had a long career of these movies I've done reintroducing themselves to new generations of kids. So I get a 50-year-old coming up to me telling me how much they love a certain movie, and I got a 10-year-old coming up to me and saying they've just started watching all of my movies. That's an incredible blessing, and I'm super grateful to have more of it with this film.
Come
on, get in. I'm on your side.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Tails, this little beautiful sly little fox, has two tails.
We're taking Tails in a little bit of a different direction. It's a cinematic world.
Perfect.
Everyone loves that dynamic of Sonic and Tails. That really opened up such great opportunity in a sequel to then bring Tails into the movie, get these two great characters together, and send them on a great adventure.
One of my favorite experiences throughout the whole process of the first movie is Jeff Fowler, Ben Schwartz, and I, we would sneak into theaters for the Tails post-credits sequence.
Fans literally yelling at the screen because Tails is such a popular character.
I saw how crazy the audience went. I knew that he was a character that was going to play long in the Sonic world.
And one of my favorite parts in the video game is that you can play with your friend and someone can control Tails and you can control Sonic, which becomes very exciting.
Tails and Sonic, it's the beginning of this relationship as opposed to the games where they're already buddies.
Ah! Get us out of here!
Which is a different place to be, and he's so confident in his mechanics and his invention building and things, even though lots of times they go awry.
I think I got it.
Tails is very capable, he's an inventor, he's brilliant, he has all these wonderful, fun gadgets.
Tails is a genius. In our franchise, he is the only one who's maybe close to the level of smarts of Robotnik.
He's just a very endearing character, and who could not like a character that has two tails that can turn them into a helicopter?
We're flying! Did your butt just turn into a helicopter?
He has two magnificent tails that he actually can fly with. They spin around and they take him where he needs to go.
He can soar through the air, and some of the really great cinematic and beautiful moments are going to be him flying, holding Sonic, and gliding through the air, which was a really popular mode from the video game.
He's very smart, and he's sweet, and he's the best sidekick ever.
I'm in.
Tails is Sonic's kid brother. He's been trying to find him, and he thinks Sonic is the greatest in the entire world.
Very much hero worship, and all that is just straight out of the games, and that's the version of the character that fans love.
The sycophant of Sonic, and finally gets time alone with Sonic and kind of learns about who he really is.
Wait, so you've been watching me this whole time?
He idolizes Sonic so much, so to be able to go in there and help him out at all in any way is like, wow, no way. Seriously, me? Are you kidding?
There's such great material and emotion there because they really have a deep bond, and just right from the first minute meeting each other, you can just tell they're going to be best friends.
Let me just say, it is an honor to finally meet you, Sonic. Is it okay if I call you Sonic?
Hearing Colleen's performance come out of Tails, it felt like a perfect fit. She's incredible. She knows the character inside and out, so just was able to come in on day one and just give us really great stuff.
In our mind, she was always going to be Tails.
I invented him. It's kind of my thing.
It never occurred to me that I could do boy voices.
He's the most dangerous warrior in the galaxy. He's obsessed with finding the Master Emerald.
Wait a second. Did you steal that from Oprah?
We're able to get Ben to come and join us, and we can see if chemistry is there and all. Ben and I got to work off of each other and improvise and do all those things that you get to do when you're in the room with your fellow actors.
Oh, you know, just a quiet night at home, settling in with a good book. And you, what's up with you?
When I learned Knuckles was on your tail, I knew I couldn't just sit back and watch anymore.
Is he as good looking in person as he is in pictures?
I don't know why I can really put my headspace into the headspace of a young boy, but I can, and yay.
Maybe being weird isn't so bad. You inspired me.
This movie, as well as the first one, they're both movies about acceptance. We all are these outsiders who are looking to find someone.
You can be weird, you can be a nerd, you can have interests that aren't necessarily mainstream, and that's okay. Tails has these two tails, and that's unusual, and he feels insecure by that, but then Sonic is super fast, and he's blue. But it's what makes them special and unique and helps them to save the day. So finding each other and knowing, hey, my weirdness is pretty cool. It's a great theme for a movie.
Let's go!
I'm the sheriff for the weekend, pal.
There's so many worlds to visit, there's so many characters to introduce. It really is an exciting challenge to continue to grow the world, bring in more characters, and continue to tell great stories.
It's deeper than I thought it would be, and it's so much fun.
We've got the first movie under our belt, and that gave us an opportunity to get to know each other. And now it starts to feel like family.
Road trip! Whoop whoop!
The first movie was me and Sonic, or me and a tennis ball. This time around, I get to act with more humans, which is kind of nice.
They've got a life-sized model in the scene. We'll do a take with that model, and then it's pretty much like an orange ball that they put right there where his eyes would be.
Make sure the eye line to the tennis ball is here and not here, but also use your imagination to be free enough to respond to what Ben might do 6 months down the line.
I make this look good.
James has such a great sense of performing with characters that don't exist. You have to have such a great imagination. As a performer, he just knows how to do it and do it great.
Jeff is an incredible director, and he loves this story and wants to protect it and wants to see us have as much fun as possible.
He comes from a very similar background to myself and to Ben Schwartz in that we got deep into these franchises. Jeff understands things about Sonic that really only the fans can relate to.
Jeff Fowler is one of the calmest directors I have ever worked with. He's doing such a huge movie with so many moving parts. He's like the steady ship among everything.
Hey, go red. We got a gold mustache.
And his calm makes us calm and more confident.
You never worry that we're gonna miss something or not have something. He's thought about it.
Jeff sets a great tone on these movies, which is, hey, there's no egos here. It's a kid's movie, but it's also, let's make it fun for the adults. You show up on set, and I'm energized by it.
He just really rose to the occasion. I'm thrilled to be working with him. He's the best.
Ben and I started at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater together when we were really young, and we were in a comedy group together for a long time called Hot Sauce.
Whoops.
I don't know if we ever thought this would be the franchise we would do together, but I'm certainly happy that it is.
Sonic is such an optimistic, positive spirit, and that's Ben.
Please hold your applause.
Any hour of the day, if I reach out to him and say, oh, you know, we're working on this scene, we'd love to try a new take, he'll jump on his iPhone and send us a temp.
Yes!
He's just so committed to the character.
It's been nice to be up here in Vancouver because I've gotten to hang out with James Marsden and form a friendship there. I think James didn't want me to be in Hawaii because if there was a chance that both of us would have our shirt off, it would just be embarrassing for him. So it was like, let's keep Pally out of the beach. And I was like, understood.
James is hilarious on and off set, and Tika is just the kindest, smartest, nicest individual, and so to spend more time with them was a delight.
Tika's like a sister to me, and now she likes to kind of knock me down a couple of pegs on the ladder, and then so I take my swings. We never take anything too seriously.
Being on screen with Tika is incrediable, and the second film allows us to deepen our relationship, and you really get to see sort of sisterhood, and she's up for anything.
He's ruining my wedding!
Natasha's so much fun to play with. It's a blast, because it's hard not to go to Natasha's energy level when you're acting with her.
Every take, she just found a different interpretation of whatever that moment was. That's called talent, when you give yourself no boundaries, and you're willing to fail. And in being willing to fail, there's these gems of success.
Put a ring on it!
I'm a huge fan of Shamar. I think his humor is underrated, and he got the joke of what we were trying to do in this movie.
Watching someone that can play the straight man and then also turn a joke is very hard to find. And then also be that symmetrical and that good looking and be funny, it's not fair. It's just not, I mean, well, hello.
It was fun to do something a little outside the norm that people have seen me do. And honestly, it makes me want to do more. Being an action hero is a lot of fun. But then coming out here and goofing and setting up jokes in the fantastical world of Sonic is a lot of fun too.
Did you miss me? Working with Jim Carrey is a dream come true since I was a little kid. He was my idol. So much of his work is so classic and legendary that it's like seeped into my own vocabulary. And there will be times where I'm talking to him and I realize I'm actually like doing an impersonation of him to him. And he must love that.
He really just knows how to get under the hood of the character. You were just always talking through and pitching ideas. It's incredible to have someone that's that invested in the character and who's working so hard to deliver the best version.
Every day is a pinch myself day. Jim has been and continues to be so gracious, so lovely.
Down low? Too slow.
Robotnik is fairly abusive, but Lee is a really good dance partner. He's up for almost anything. In fact, I can't really remember anything I've ever said to him like, why don't we do this, that he hasn't at least tried it.
Very good, Stone.
It's tough to be, pulled around by your jaw, but he's fantastic.
Zip it! I'm sorry, you're making me nervous. You're making me nervous! You're the one with robot hands!
Adam is hilarious. The dude is so good with improv.
We'll do it scripted the first couple takes, and then I'll just cut him loose and say, just run wild.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me!
Lee has not offered to make me any lattes, even though I remind him every day that I'm number 4 on the call sheet. It's like it still doesn't register with him.
Every time I go out to do another film, it's like being in the carnival. You're out in a different place every time, and you've got a whole new group of people that you get to know.
These people are like becoming my family. It's a really good group of solid people who like to laugh, who like to be silly and stupid, and it's a dream job. It really is.
Pitiful.
Sonic, meet Knuckles. He's got these huge hands. He's a brawler. He can punch, he can fight, and he is like the ultimate match for Sonic.
Too easy. Knuckles is quite a big character in the Sonic landscape, in the Sonic universe.
Where Sonic's fast, Knuckles is strong, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with that within the action of this movie.
I am an echidna. Trained since birth in all forms of lethal combat. Destined to restore honor to my tribe. And willing to destroy anything that gets in my way. Welcome to the team. I have decent knuckles, but I don't have knuckles like Knuckles does. His knuckles are massive.
Knuckles is the last of the echidnas. The echidnas are a very proud warrior race that have kind of gotten themselves extinct by virtue of their own aggressiveness.
We fought and died at their hands, and now you will die at mine.
And because he's the last of his kind, he really has this deep sense of honor.
Why don't you stand still and die with honor?
Traditionally in the video games, he is the protector of the Master Emerald, and the Master Emerald is such a holy grail in the Sonic universe.
At last, the Master Emerald. He's not a warm and fuzzy guy. He's straight to the point and means business. He doesn't really understand emotion, just understands brute force.
When he hears about the power of Knuckles, it's a daunting task to dominate this character, but that's what he must do. He must use Knuckles' power to his own gains.
You think these machines are a match for me? I will shatter them like the bones from a fallen... Oh, they are stairs.
Knuckles is a reasonable person. He's a ruffian. He's a warrior.
Oh, I think we lost him.
Tiny magic hedgehog destroyed.
When we meet him, he's gonna come to our world as the first real character who has comparable abilities to Sonic.
Do I look like I need your power?
He's gonna be a villain that Sonic faces off against, who really can handle Sonic's powers like no one before.
These sequences feel like these big, huge, blockbuster type action sequences. But then countered with the comedy that people get from Sonic, and now we have Tails and Knuckles. It feels like it's all been leading to this build.
What is going on? Robotnik's back? And who is Clifford the Big Red Rage Monster?
Knuckles comes into this movie. So you understand that Sonic is going to need to grow a little as a hero. It's important to have new characters to help your characters develop and to test them.
You're unskilled, untrained, and unworthy.
Sonic and Knuckles have very different powers, which allows for great battles. And we have a battle scene in the third act of this movie between the two of them, wherein they're in the labyrinth and they have this huge fight towards the end. And I think it's one of the show-stopping, iconic pieces of this movie.
I don't want to fight you, but you're not giving me much choice.
Let's do this.
Right from the start, we just knew that Knuckles' voice was going to need something very different from Sonic. Ben is so incredible. He's got such great energy with his delivery.
Wow.
So for Knuckles, he's just a much stronger, more brutish,
Deceiver!
more formidable character. We needed a voice that had that same weight and that really added that gravitas to it.
It is my destiny to do what my ancestors could not. To restore the ultimate power to the home of my people.
It's really exciting for us to have somebody of his talent playing the role of Knuckles, to bring the strength, the heart.
We make our stand here, on the field of battle.
There's a lot of opportunity for jokes and for humor there, and Idris just had a blast playing with that and really making it his own.
Just chilling, watching TV. ...
He's got such great instincts as an actor, and it's really elevated Knuckles' performance across the board.
The voice of Knuckles was a bit of a journey, trying to understand what does this character sound like? Is he American? Is he English? Is he tribal? What was great is that we had a chance to just explore different sound sonics, no pun, but just explore different places my voice could go.
Once Sonic sort of pulls the emotional layers back from Knuckles, we're going to realize that he's just like Sonic. He's just another character who needs someone.
Sonic, I have just been told they have sprinkles.
Ice cream and sprinkles? This is your new destiny.
We're able to stage action that's so cool and so extraordinary. Really also to just make Knuckles a fully dimensional character, make him relatable, make him emotional, because ultimately we really want all of these little CG characters to really be alive.
Would I play Knuckles again? Absolutely. I'm glad to say that I think we're going to do that.